Welcome into this day with Quimper Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Gary Forbes, and I'm a member of the board here at QUUF. As we gather, I acknowledge that water, land, and shorelines here in Port Townsend are the traditional territory of the Sklallam and Chimacum peoples. We honor and acknowledge our Indigenous members and neighbors and vow to help restore and sustain these homelands. If you're visiting today, and I see a lot of people I don't know out there, this is lovely, thank you. I offer a special welcome and invite you to join us for refreshments and conversation in the fellowship hall after the service. There's a newcomers table in the foyer where our greeters are ready to answer any questions you might have. Also, this morning after the service is our homecoming picnic, and all are welcome. It smells good out there. So may the welcome we offer you be in equal measure to the one in our hearts. We pause to briefly do some essential business of our congregation, and we ask that any speakers be aware of time constraints on our service and family ministries program. Thanks for your consideration. Also, advancing learning and spiritual opportunities is the next evolution of growth and learning here at QUUF. Also is here to provide an avenue for the sharing of interests, skills, knowledge, and to connect QUUF to the community that we live in. This fall also has a diverse set of offerings. Check out the paper brochure or click on the Also button on the QUUF homepage. The semester runs from late September through January. Sign-ups begin today for members and next Sunday for the general public. Again, the QUUF homepage, click on Also for access to our sign-up tool. Enjoy the richness of experiences the QUUF community can provide. Let us settle our minds and our hearts.
Good morning. It is our tradition to light a flaming chalice to mark sacred time together. The bowl represents our quest for universal love, and the flame signifies our search for unity. These are today's opening words from our interim minister, Don Rollins. There are times when we know for certain we are good and whole. There are those moments when, if we are so blessed, others see goodness and wholeness in us. It is in these moments that we feel safe, that we feel at home. May this hour be one of those moments. May home find us right here, right now. Our opening hymn is number 325, Love Makes a Bridge. And I wanted to point out that this is a song we've never sung. So listen very closely before we get started.
our chains and gives us strength to stand our ground. Love rings the bells of wonted birth and wedding day. Love guides the hands that promise more than words can say. Love makes a bridge that winds may shake, yet not destroy. Love carries faith through life and death to endless joy.
Good job. In places near and far, autumn in a UU congregation often means sharing in the simple ceremony known as a water ritual. It was 1980 when Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shuck Longview were asked at a women's gathering to create a ritual about our connections to one another and the earth that sustains us. Lucille and Carolyn decided to use water as their symbol, for nothing is as important to life. They asked 8 women from 8 places to bring water from their homes and pour them into a common bowl. These were the beginnings of the ceremony we celebrate today, and we thank those who gifted us with such a simple way to express our connections. In this spirit, let us begin once again to mark our homecoming with the water ritual. Here is how we will proceed, with help from today's ushers, who are Peg and Patrick. Those are the faces to look for. You can see the tables in the front and pitchers at the front of the sanctuary. The glasses, the little cups, also have a little bit of water in them so that the kids don't have to lift the big heavy pitchers. Beginning with the back row, use the center aisle to come forward to the table on your side of the room. As you pour, be reminded that we are a fortunate people to be blessed with an abundance of fresh water. Then recall that the ritual of blending waters is more than an act. It's a way to go beyond words and to make holy our vision of a world at peace with justice and an earth healed and safe. When you finish, return to your seats by way of the outside aisles and be amazed at the diversity within unity as others take their turn at the tables. And I'd also like to remind you that you don't need to pour a lot of water. Just a quick dibby-dab of water in the bowls. So if the ushers would like to begin the facilitation, please. And so, we have once again shared in the autumn ritual that calls us together, calls us homeward. As we close this time together, let us take with us the certainty that all creation is one. Let us be glad at that, glad indeed.
Now, back to our tradition. Please form an arch on the center aisle and let us sing our children to their classes.
Come heaven, please, come heaven, please, may the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Come heaven, please, may the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere.
Isn't it wonderful to have so many children here today? Haven't seen that many here for a long time. So now it's time for us to pause for a time of generosity and to receive an offering of support to support the life and ministry of our religious community. The ushers will now come among you to receive the offering. We invite you to see the screen above for other ways to contribute. Thanks in advance for your support. Please join me in our offering words. Fellowship is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it.
Touching our lips with holy wine. shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
Now, this time is set aside to share our joys and sorrows. We use these moments to speak of deep things, places in our lives, community, and world that burden or confuse us, or places that call for celebration and gratitude. In this spirit of deep things, we place this first stone. And now, within the congregation, we place a stone for our member Henry Amick, who has been having increased health problems recently. He asks for people to remember him in their thoughts and prayers. You are in our hearts, Henry. We light this candle for Lori Hinkle, mother of QUUF member Terry Wagner, who passed away peacefully in her sleep here in Port Townsend on Thursday, September 11th, at the age of 98. We extend love and comfort to Terry and her sister, Tracy Wagner. Now we place a final stone, holding in our hearts the joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken.
This is our quiet time together. We pause in our busyness to let go of all that came before this moment and all that awaits us on the other side. We pause to let bodies, minds, and hearts come to rest. So begin with me by closing your eyes, or maybe finding a fixed point nearby. Notice your breath, the beginnings, the middles, the ends. You don't have to force your breaths. There is no right way. There is just the miracle of life in your very breast. Now, notice any pain or tension in your body. Maybe upper, maybe lower, maybe both. And keep noticing your breath. Your mind. Are there burdens you've brought with you today? Are you in a good place? Or maybe both? And feel your breath. And what about your spirit? Did you greet the day? Or was it hard just to rise and be here? Or maybe both? Wherever your journey to the holy now has been, I invite you to come home to the sacred body, mind, and spirit that are you. You, the wanderer. You, the settler. You, the one in pain. You, the one with light heart. Make room for the real you today. Come home and know that you belong.
Hello again, good people. Hello again, good people. Hello again, good people. If we haven't met on a Zoom or phone call, my name is Don Rollins, and I serve your fine congregation as interim minister. Quick shout out to your staff, your leadership. I just want to say before we get started here that you are in good hands, that I work and serve with good people. You're fortunate. Let's talk homecoming. Right about now, my preacher is winding up his morning sermon. He's probably transitioning into the altar call, during which time he'll invite the lost to confess their sins and invite Jesus into their hearts. The altar call is a given, but some significant number, though present in body, will have mentally left the building. For today is homecoming and the little evangelical church of my youth, which translates to an earthly feast, not unlike the one that awaits us in heaven. It's a scene right out of that Lyle Lovett song, the one where folks are silently beseeching the Lord for the preacher to wrap it up so they can have at the feast that awaits. Once that service concludes, few will tarry. They'll fairly streak toward the cars, trucks, and vans and make the 2-mile trek to Hickory Grove. If you came by Hickory Grove, you'd little appreciate its significance in the low church liturgical life of Trinity Wesleyan, a clapboard building centered in a circular drive, 2 bare wood shelters, and 4 potties. Children will pour out of the vehicles as though their hair were on fire. The ambulatory will assist the non-ambulatory, and of course the youth will set up shop several yards from it all, talking in hushed tones. Food and drink will appear as the mostly women work crew sort meat from vegetables, from biscuits, from desserts. Somebody will corral the preacher, tell him all is ready. Pastor will offer up to his loving God his heartfelt thanks for abundance in a hungry world, friends amidst so much loneliness, and love despite so much love. It'll be amens all around, and that's a theological version of a checkered flag for folks to have right at it. Now, pigs at a trough would be embarrassed by what's about to ensue. With lightning-like speed, trillions of calories and gallons of trans fats will be digested. Casseroles, slaw, greens, cucumbers, and onions in vinegar, 5 kinds of beans, cornbread, biscuits from scratch, dumplings, and an entire table of the aforementioned fried chicken. And all this will be piled high on generous plates, chased down by RC Cola, whole milk, powdered lemonade, battery acid grade coffee, sweet tea, or some combination thereof. Pies, fruit pies, cream pies, with or without whipped cream, with or without ice cream. Soon the belts will be loosened. Not a single diabetic finger will be pricked for the next 2 hours. Wired up on sugar and white flour, the kids will run to the creek, dig for crawdads. The aged will tire of the conversation and the hymn singing and settle back in plaid long chairs and nap to the Reds on the radio. Most of the young, the middle-aged men will migrate to the horseshoe pit. The youth will, of course, return to their self-imposed exile behind the shelter house, and the women will be left to clean up the aftermath and match the right Tupperware with the right family. Things will wind down around 3 or 4 o'clock. The building, the shelters, and the grounds, they'll be squared away, neat and clean as before. And thus will the descendants of the long-dead founding saints of Trinity Wesleyan Church celebrate their history, one another, their caring and love, and the dawn of a new church year. It is truly their homecoming. To quote from a stately old gospel song, those are precious memories I just shared with you. I hold them close when times are hard. And when I think of Hickory Grove, I think of 2 lessons. First, that annual picnic was really just an extension of a community that was years in the making. When I mentioned the ancestors who came before, the founders, the saints, the rascals, the naysayers, these were stars in a narrative that was taught to us early on. We knew the names of believers we would never see. Their names were on the sides of our pews. Their pictures were hung in the fellowship hall, because Trinity Wesleyan's version of home meant knowing where you come from. And I suggest that knowing your origin story is no less important in the homes that we built in the name of liberal religion. Our roll call of the saints, living and dead, near and afar, is no less worth the telling, because the folks who came before us, the folks who helped create your congregation, they too had to dream and sweat and give of their abundance, so you and I could have that home. Not just a building, but a spiritually grounded way of living that resulted in a building. You and I need to know where we come from. We too have inherited a religion that we rightly call our home. Second, the souls who gathered in that old grove knew that it wasn't about them. Whatever their gospel, whatever the time of year, it was not about them. So they were known as a place where you could get help feeding your kids when the pantry is empty, or get a ride to the doctor or grocery store, or bail money, or no lecture when you just slipped up after 5 years of sobriety. I think that was because Trinity Wesleyan took Jesus flat out seriously, and that meant they had to open their home to people they would never see again, people who would never come on a Sunday morning, who would never give them a dime. And that's because their doors opened both ways. At our best, Unitarian Universalists, we know at some deep level, it's not about us either. And especially right now, let me briefly go there. Beloveds, every institution and government agency we hold as conduits of our values is being phased out or already gone. Think about it. Persons who identify as queer, trans, or non-binary are being dehumanized in their own country, yes, their home country. And migrants whose only crime is to cross a line on a map and take the midnight shift at a meat processing plant are somehow not human. So when I think of you and my mandate in such times, I think of the Roman Catholic tradition of parish. And I got that notion from the priests and the nuns at the Methodist seminary that kindly tolerated me for 3 long years. Those priests and nuns that walked with Dr. King. They too, a person believed the deep ministry begins the moment we step outside the building. This was best summed up by a Salesian priest who taught courses on the Hebrew prophets. When I asked him about all this, he said, parish boils down to not in my parish, not in my neighborhood, not in my home. Injustice will not go unaddressed in my home. So that mantra seemed familiar when I first heard it, and that's probably because Trinity Wesleyan Church raised me to do likewise. So on this day of homecoming, what are we to learn from that little evangelical church where chicken was the communion bread and sweet tea was the communion wine? Just 2 lessons, friends. Honor the ancestors. Do them proud in the way we treat each other. Remember that they too had homecomings. It's our turn. We need to know where we come from. And second, the challenge to test our fancy mission and value statements by how we minister the other side of our doors. How to be bold, how to be compassionate. And take this with you, as the late UU minister Peter Fleck told us, let's be willing to be disturbed. So let me close by saying this. Maybe homecoming isn't a place, maybe not even a people, Maybe home is, and wait for it, just love. Maybe it's just love. Maybe it's just plain and simple love. And where did I get that? The good folk at Hickory Grove.
Our closing hymn is number 164, A Peace Not Past Our Understanding. Our closing words are also offered by Don. If we part company, assured that we have a place in this vast universe, then we have come home. If we leave, knowing we are not alone, whatever befalls us, then we have come home. If we return to this bruised world a little stronger, a little gentler, then we have come home. Go in peace.
Please join us in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish our flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, or the power of transformation. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.